Hi, I'm Ryan Malyar, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Marlborough Minute, where we bring in local community groups that have something to talk about. I'm so excited because in recent years, a staple of downtown Marlborough has been the Main Street Car Show. It is an absolute blast. People show up in droves to come to this car show, and I have some of the founders of the event right here, a brother team. Why don't you both introduce yourself?
All right, thank you. I'm Bob Archibald, and this is my brother Alan. And this all started in 2008, and we've been together doing this since then.
Excellent.
And this is number 14 that we're doing this year.
14.
Yeah, we missed 2 because of the COVID virus. So
we're not going to dwell on that.
No,
no.
Past tense.
Yeah.
Past tense.
Yeah.
What was the original inspiration to do a car show? Are you both car fanatics yourself? Do you have cars in the show?
I don't, but he does.
You do?
He's got a 57 Thunderbird.
Oh, nice.
It's a jewel.
Yeah.
And but it was the 150th anniversary of United Brethren Lodge here in Marlborough. And we had a brainstorming meeting to decide what we were going to do to celebrate for the year. And Bob made the suggestion of having a car show and having it right up on Main Street. And we did it that first year, thought it was one and done. And then who was it? Suzanne Lieber from the Chamber of Commerce said, "You've got to do it again," but we were limited to a small space. So she says, "I'll get you light to light." And that was it. So she did that, made that arrangement. We've been doing it the full street ever since.
It really does take the community to have community events. The city itself can only do so much, and they do a wonderful job of the concerts on the Common and the big parades that we have in town. Yeah. But even just recently, we had the Family Fun Festival at Ward Park, which was a collaboration of Junior Women's Club and the Eagles. So this is what your group does. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about the lodge, if you can. I know some of the lodge stuff is fairly secretive, am I right?
No.
Not as much as... Not as much as it's believed to be.
No. Anyway, so in 2008, we had that meeting at the lodge, and I, of course, being a lover of old cars, antiques, and stuff, I said, "Well, how about a car show?" And it was all taken very, very perfect. And they said, "Well, that's a great idea, and we'll put you down as being in charge of it." So that's how I inherited it. And then in 2009, the first year of the car show was my first year as master of the lodge. And so, I met, as Alan said, up on Main Street, and Suzanne said, I'd like to see all these people on the street and all these old cars, but why did you stop at Florence Street? And I said, well, that's all they would give me. She says, well, if you do it next year, come and see me, and I'll make sure you get light to light. And that just, since then, it just every year got bigger and better. And you learn more, as you're going along and stuff. So, but it was very successful, and being on Main Street alone is just a big plus for the old car buffs and stuff. It's just beautiful, and of course all the help that I get from, the police department, DPW, everybody in general, they help me out, and if I don't get in there soon enough to get, let the city know that I'm doing, I would get a call, say, are we doing the car show this year? So it's very
gotta get that permit in.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And I do. Yeah. And then I got a nice compliment one year. They said, "You realize that your car show now in Marlborough is bigger than the Labor Day parade?" I thought that was a pretty good compliment, because the Labor Day parade is pretty fantastic. But, yeah, and it just goes on and on and on. I got a wonderful committee, and everybody. Some just show up to work for the day of the show. They can't do meetings and stuff, but just there's no shortage of help, So
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Now this also acts as a fundraiser.
It does. You want to tell them about the fund?
Yeah, it's generated a little over $350,000 since its inception. We have some national charities that we donate to: Shriners Hospital for Children, which we're both Shriners as well. Oh. And in Springfield, and the Burn Center in Boston. We do local charities, but we do home base as well. Wounded Warriors. We do local charities, the Marlborough Pantry, Food Pantry, the Boys and Girls Club. we have another charity. It's called the Angel Fund, which if a teacher in one of the local schools, sees a child that knows the family background, that they're don't have the cash flow, sees that the child needs glasses or needs a winter boots or apparel, they just make the arrangement to get it, and we just cover the cost of it. So that fund is also supported through the car show.
But there's no cost to attend the car show, so how are the funds generated?
You can.
The funds are generated from the different businesses that are in Marlborough and Hudson and all surrounding area. And I go out, so does Alan and a few others that are doing it too. So you go to the business and you ask them, would you like to, become a sponsor, and show them the book that their company would go in. And
it's a beautiful program that you put out every year with all the sponsors, and it's very accessible for anyone attending to grab that book and see your name right there and see all those wonderful businesses.
I think it's a win-win situation. If you own a business, wouldn't you want to be affiliated with an organization that's giving to all these, charity funds and stuff? So I think it's a great thing, and it's a lot of running around, but it's well worth it in the end. As a matter of fact, I'm still doing it even today because there's a cutoff date where everything's got to go to the printer and to be ready for the show. So it's wonderful. It really is.
So would you say that donating is the best way for a local business to get involved, or are there other needs that you have that people can contribute to this fun event?
No, I would say that the book is the best.
That's the best way to do it?
Yeah.
And then each of the cars that come in to put them on display, they make a $20 donation. And then we have vendor spaces and a food court across from City Hall. And each of those vendors all make a donation as well. So,
how many cars do we get usually on average?
We've been hovering around 400. But now we also have Rollins Ave. So now we could potentially get up to about 500, 550 cars.
Wow.
So
yeah.
Nice to know that we won't have to turn cars away, because we've experienced that. We get the two gates open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and before 8:30, 8:45, we're full. And the cars are just flowing nonstop, and it hurts to have to turn some beautiful cars away, but
sure,
if you don't have the space to park them, stacking them on top of others is frowned upon. So.
And I guess that's one way that the show has grown over the years, is definitely in awareness and people wanting to show up here. Are there any other changes over the years?
Well, we have a whole crew that goes out on the street at around 6 in the morning, because there's people parked there at that hour to secure their spots. So we have to kind of get that all organized and get them through properly. And it seems they get earlier every year with it. So.
And there's a lot of cars that come near the end of the day, or when everything is all cars are parked and everything. And there's some latecomers that come, and they say, "We're sorry, we're filled up and everything." So, well, I'll find a place to park, but here's my $20 anyway, because they know where it's being given to. So it's a great great time. Yeah.
How do you market this show, or do you even have to market it at this point? People have come to expect it.
There's a series of publications, and online there's a lot of web pages that advertise the car show community to different. It's put on by different car clubs, and that, like Bass Pro have a big one every second Thursday down in Foxborough, and one of the guys takes a whole stack of flyers and he just walks around to all the cars and throws them into it. So, and our disc jockey, Dr. Dom, has also he specializes in car shows and motorcycle shows.
Oh, no way.
So he's got the great blend of music suitable for this type of event, and as well, he does all the advertising and spreads the word and shares the flyers. So it's now, after all these years, it's become very well known within the various car clubs in the community. So, yeah.
I'm curious if each of you have a favorite part of the car show. I mean, you're so busy working to put it together. Do you get to sit back at any point and relax and enjoy all the wonderful cars that are there, or what's your favorite part of the whole thing?
Well, I can tell you what mine is. A few years back, I had this idea, and it worked out great. And I have a VFW band that comes in, and they meet me at the lodge, and they tune up their instruments and everything, and then they head out to the beginning of the show, up at the top of the show street, and they parade down. There's some 15 to 20 members of this VFW band.
Mhm.
And they march down, they stop at where the DJ is, where it's around Florence Street, the middle, and they play the national anthem, and that's like the official opening of the show, because all the cars are parked,
Yeah.
and the street's full of people, and they parade down to here, they turn around and they parade all the way back.
That's
and,
pretty cool.
Yeah, and they won't take any money for it.
No?
They enjoy it too. So
Yeah.
Excellent.
it's a lot of good things that
How about you? Any favorite?
Yeah, the first thing in the morning as the cars are rolling in, the street's quiet,
The calm before the storm.
and you hear the thunder out of some of these cars as they're just rumbling down the street. One year we had one of Jeff Gordon's race cars was one of the show display vehicles that year, and it still had the NASCAR engine in it, and they fired that thing up, and he rattled the windows just idling all the way down the street. So yeah, there's something about the sound first thing in the morning.
Do you ever try to recruit special cars that you've seen before and get on the phone and say, "Oh, I really like for you to bring that one down this year"?
I think anytime we see cars, we go out of our way to let them know that we have the show on the first Sunday in June and feed them the information. If we don't have a flyer to give them, we share the information. Most of the time they've heard of the show, so they're watching for it.
So you're sort of scouting on a regular basis. Do you attend car shows on your own time as well?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I might add that we used to have the Batmobile for the kids. We used to park at City Hall, and that was a big attraction to having the Batmobile. And he would dress up and and do a little skit with the Marlborough Police and Batman and Robin and stuff. It was fantastic. Unfortunately, they split up, him and his wife, and there's no more Batmobile now. So, but yeah, it was. We're always looking. And Back to the Future, didn't we have him?
Yeah, we've had the DeLoreans a couple of times. We've had one of the Gotham City Police Department cars. Like I say, then we had Jeff Gordon's car one year, and at first, we had Herbie the Love Bug a few times, and which was an authentic one right from the movie. So
I think it's just a great all ages event too, because especially when you bring kids there, some kids have no interest in cars whatsoever, but there's something about seeing these really special vehicles that lights up everyone's eyes. Even me, I'm not a big car person, but every year when I go down that street, I'm just fascinated by the care and the work and the originality of some of these vehicles that I've never laid eyes on in my life.
it's incredible.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, you look at the investment that people have made in these vehicles, and they're willing to bring them out and park them on the street, and people are walking up and down between them, and it's pretty neat. We've got some extremely high valued vehicles that show up every year, and we're appreciative for that too, because it makes the show. We've got a blend of everything, so it covers all the bases.
Yeah.
So are you going to continue leading this charge year after year going forward? Are you still in it for another year, or what keeps you doing it? What keeps you coming back?
Well, the love of the cars and the love of seeing all the amount of people that we get at it. I mean, it's just just unbelievable. And of course, having it on Main Street, there's no other. Guys will tell you, say, no, not a field or a grass area, just on Main Street.
Yeah.
That's the mystique, I think. And
The old architecture just lends to the whole ambiance of the day.
yeah.
And also, when we get to go around and present checks to various charities and that, there's a reason why he looks like Santa Claus. So he takes that, and we go out and we'll do that.
Yeah.
And, you're helping. You feel the gratitude. So
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's tell the audience before we tune out when and where and how to get to this car show.
Well, it's June 2nd, and it starts around, we get early birds that come very early, but 8 o'clock, I'd say. 9 o'clock, the cars start coming in. And I think by 11 or so, right, it's...
usually, earlier than that. So.
Yeah, sometimes earlier than that. It's hard to predict because there's so many... It's so interesting to see the cars and stuff. But the date is June 2nd. The rain date is the 16th, which is Father's Day.
2 weeks later,
2 weeks later, so... Yeah. Oh, unfortunately, hopefully we won't have to use that. But and it's open to the public, no charge. Plenty of food, plenty of things for the kids to see too. So I think it's a good family day. So you got anything to add to that?
I think you got it covered. Sunday. Be there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you both for coming on Marlborough Minute.
Thank
I'll
you.
be there again this year. I can't
Looking
wait to
forward to it.
see.
I'll
what
watch for
do.
you.
Yeah, okay, I'll watch for you too. I'll hunt you down.
We'll all have the same color shirts on, green, right?
I think it's great.
Safety green shirts. So.
Green this year.
Yeah,
Excellent.
yep.
So if you're there and you have any questions about the car show, look for the folks in green. They'll help you out. And thank you for joining in for another episode of Marlborough Minute. Take care.
Thank you.